Hello, and welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and you guys, of course, are my co-host, along with Brother Nate. So let's get it started. Hopefully, everybody's having a great week so far. It's Tuesday night, and as always, it is great fun when we get to hang out, talk politics, news, YouTube garbage, and whatever else is going on in the world. Without further ado, Brother Nate, let me know when you're ready, because I know the women's is waiting for you with bated breaths. Hey, everybody. Welcome. It is nice to see you all. Let me know when you're ready. Are you ready, sir? I don't want to just pop you up. Okay, here you go. Hey, what's going on?
Bated breaths.
Bated breaths. Just waiting. Hey, what's going on, Virginia Redbone? How are you? Nice to see you. Patty Duke, always great, always a pleasure. Patty, what's going on? Taylor, Clarence, how are you? Nice to see you.
Good evening, everyone.
Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way in, and as we always do, let's get it started. Hopefully everybody's had a great start to their week. It's only Tuesday and Monday. Some of you got rest because, you had the day off. Others did not. Whatever.
I hope everybody enjoyed their last summer
right.
holiday.
Hopefully you enjoyed
summer don't end until it get 30, okay? So
right. Exactly.
You can squeeze some extra ones in.
Right. You still got a couple extra hot days and things you could.
That's right. Enjoy it.
As my mother would say, suck it up, sip it up while you can. Just take small sips and just enjoy it, because it will be cold as hell soon. So just enjoy it while you can. But without further ado, let's get started in this. All right. So let's get right into it. And of course, I'm really convinced that this woman was not liked in high school. She was not liked as an adolescent growing up. She really had a kind of bullied childhood, because I don't see it. But anyway, who I'm talking about would be none other than Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Uncle Thomas, who has again been caught with new allegations of her election interference. Now she's ever since this whole uh, insurrection, January 6th, her name has been mentioned from jump as being a supporter, someone who funded a lot of the bus trips, these plane tickets or what have you. That her organization, excuse me, was a part of this um, group of supporters to get other people down to DC to actually, in other words, in the nice words, F shit up. Um, so yeah, here we are again with Virginia Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice, being caught yet again. Yet again. So I don't know. I'm over it. I'm even over and talking about it because it's like, well, what are you going to do to her? If you're just going to say, oh, usually Supreme Court justices, their wives or husbands don't really interfere in political matters, nor do the justices supposed to. They're just supposed to, whatever's handed to them, deliberate and, move forward from there. But they're not really supposed to be political in a sense. They're supposed to be very apolitical. However, since Trump and the exit of Trump, uh, Thomas himself has been very vocal on a lot of the things that he wants to get rid of or campaign to get rid of. So I don't know. I mean, same old with this one right here. I can't. I just like either you're going to arrest her or we're going to constantly keep talking about her in some kind of underhanded way, pushing to push people to either come to DC for this January 6th or after everything was over to still push this election lie. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on this?
They
Nate,
both
if
need
you have any?
they both need to go.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple, because he's compromised.
Right.
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 And they both have to go. She needs to go to jail.
I don't think he even cares. I really don't think he cares. I think he thinks his position solidifies him.
He's secure.
His position solidifies him where he is. And I think maybe that's what she's banking on as well, is thinking,
oh no, she's using her whiteness.
Yeah. Well, I mean that
literally
too. But of course, I think she's definitely thinking, well, this is my husband. Y'all not gonna, they're not gonna do anything to me. And it's like, no, you need to be held accountable for the bullshit that you've done and participated in.
Oh, but if Jenny was black, it would be a different story.
Jenny was black, honey. Jenny would be under the jail. Under the jail. But in some breaking news, we have a few breaking news stories. But for one, breaking news for people in the west side of Baltimore, Maryland, the DPW has issued a advisory to start boiling your water after E. coli was found in the water in West Baltimore. If Baltimore couldn't have anything less wrong with it,
hey.
I'm just playing.
You better, because we ride hard down here.
I know. But yeah, so in all seriousness, the water has had traces of E. coli found in it in West Baltimore. So please make sure that you're boiling your water, doing the bottled water thing. We don't want this to be a Flint, Michigan situation. But this is dangerous in and of itself. E. coli can lead to a lot of different things. So we just, you want to make sure that you're being precautious and doing what you can. So Monday it was issued that the E. coli contaminants have been found in a sample from West Baltimore, and they suggest that you boil your water. My suggestion, if you can go get some bottled water, to go get some.
Well, you should already have it.
Yeah, but
you rotate it out. Yeah, it don't cost you that much. I don't think it went up that much. But what you can also do is, if you have hot water heater, turn your hot water heater up to high. Let it run till it's hot, and you can utilize your water that way. Or do like a lot of our mamas used to do: put a little cap of bleach in that dishwater when you washing them dishes. I sure did. I always do. Put a little cap in
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Especially when you're washing the dishes and stuff.
Wash. That's right. They come out and they just feel just extra clean and chemically.
Yeah. And itchy as hell.
But the problem I had with this is they knew about this Friday.
Yeah, they did. They did
Okay.
over 90 locations with
Mm-hmm.
within the distributing areas. Monthly were checked, so they've known about this for quite some time. So I don't know.
Yeah, but their main concern was that it wasn't from any of the pumping stations.
Yeah,
That it was just out where they were taking the samples.
right.
So evidently, I mean, they really still don't know where it's coming from. And if you live down here in Baltimore, you would know that they've been rebuilding our water infrastructure for a while.
Right.
These high ass water bills.
Yeah, the water bills have gone up. But the mayor has reported no illnesses as a result of the contaminated water. Has been reported as of Monday evening. So
that we know of. Since we didn't find out till Monday after the
barbecue, people that already had some Kool-Aid and shit.
That was like, oh man, you know what the first thing I said? I said, fuck. I was like, I knew that motherfucker was gonna hit us sooner or later. I was like, what the hell is this? Shit.
That is crazy. Also, in some updated news, I know last week or the week before we talked about the story of the young man who was told to had to cut his locks or leave the school. He has chose not to cut his locks, but to leave the school. It was the Catholic high school in South Dakota, which gave the 9th grader an ultimatum to either cut his hair or leave. And the black teenager has chosen to leave the Catholic high school rather than to bow down to the school system and ultimately cut his hair. So shout out to him. I think that's
I want to shout out to his parents. I believe he must be adopted because his parents are white.
Right. Yeah.
And for them sticking behind their son.
Yeah.
Because once he leaves there, he can blast the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's going to do maybe like a semester or so, and then just going about his business.
Right.
Which you have to pick and choose your battles.
Right.
And right now it's really just not our time for something like that. It's just the way that the country is and how divisive everything is.
Everything is, yeah. That is true. Let me turn this down. I thought it was like down, but it sounds like it's still high. All right, moving right along. But definitely shout out to the young man's parents and to himself just for having the courage to stand up against a system that I'm sure, it's a bit daunting. You have, administrators and teachers and all that trying to just cut your hair. You can grow it back, or you could, do this and do that. And he just stuck to his guns. So I appreciate that.
And you abide by all of the guidelines, and you know how white people are. They'll change up on you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that part is a little true. All right. So in other news, New Mexico official was ordered to be removed from office after his participation in January 6th. So it looks like since this will be the first political, I guess, official, someone in somewhat of a political elected office to be removed due to their involvement in January 6th. So a federal judge has ordered the Cowboy for Trump founder Coy Griffin to be removed from his position as the commissioner on Tuesday after participating in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. The New Mexico District Court Judge, Francis J. Matthews, found that Griffin had engaged in the insurrection during the January 6 riot and was constitutionally, disqualified him from holding federal and state office, including his current position. So yeah, he got the chiz up for participating. How about this? This is the first elected official to get chopped due to this.
And how long ago did this all happen?
Right, and this happened so long ago that just now people are getting charged. But I mean, hey, you got the former president right now getting stays from a federal judge about executive privilege, and he's no longer the executive. So I don't know how that works.
Well, when you pack the courts, and this is what happens when you pack the courts. Okay, when you put your people in there, but I'm sure that they'll overturn it. I assume it can't be too sure.
Yeah, I mean they will, but I think that they just giving him time to like play, so that way, elections can go on. They won't be talking about it as much, or kind of doing whatever as far as the investigation is concerned, and no new news will come out involving the investigation. But she did also forget you got the committee still about to do another hearing this month. So I mean, I don't know. I just wish, it's just like, granted, if the person didn't have money and was black or brown or some other persuasion, this would be a whole different story. That person would be in jail right now.
We forgot about it. Right.
We wouldn't even be talking about no kind of privilege. If Obama had done it, we wouldn't be talking about a privilege. I've never even heard of presidents having executive privilege. Of course, they do still have certain documents and certain links to the government to keep them in the know and to keep them secure. So that is definitely a given for all presidents, present and former. However, this whole thing of him being able to take these documents and keep them or hide them.
He didn't even keep them because there's nothing but envelopes on some of them.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. Some of them he's done whatever he did with them, and then
he sold them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
gave them away.
Yeah, he definitely sold them. I don't think he gave nothing away. I think everything came with a price for him.
Oh yeah, everything had a price.
And when they told him what they wanted, he made sure that before he left there, he grabbed what they needed so he can get the money that he needed. And to go back and forth and hopefully the Justice Department has all the information. Well, you should know what you gave him if you logged it. You know what I'm saying? If you logged what was presented to him, then you have that because you have to log that. Now that's how they know it was missing. And so when they went to go retrieve it, oh yeah, we gave some back. No, you didn't give any of it back. So you go through this back and forth, and it gets to be a bit like, I know you're not going to arrest them because y'all going to sit there and talk about something. We don't want to have another January 6th. I don't give a goddamn.
You need
at this point,
let them all
run up in there, and you can snipe them down like you was sniping down somebody else.
They'll hit them with bean bags.
Well, whatever. I think at this point it's just absolutely ridiculous. But in other news, so debt, inflation, climate change, and just the crisis in general with COVID has caused 20 and 30-year-olds to think about vasectomies in our health minute and removing their tubes. In other words, people don't want to really have kids anymore. The birth rate in the United States has dropped 4% since 2020. Which is the largest single year of decrease in nearly 50 years, according to government reports. So yeah, a lot of people just don't want to have kids. I mean, I just don't. I mean, I don't know. I could see, but I could see the side of it. If you have a government sitting up there telling women that they, what to do with their bodies, the only way that some people can actually kind of have control of their bodies is to say, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm just not going to have kids. And then with all this that's going on, who really wants? A lot of people think about it. Who wants to bring a child into this? They barely making by for themselves. Right. Barely getting by for themselves, and then to bring another child into this kind of world. I could see where people have opted not to. That it's not that important. Unless you got Nick Cannon money, or you just throwing, throwing your
Children are
cannon around.
expensive. They're expensive.
Yeah.
They are expensive, and it's dangerous out here.
And these, from what I hear, these 19 babies are very different. They're walking earlier. They're doing all kinds of
because
stuff a lot earlier.
When you got predators out there, you better move fast. Watch out, Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears might be behind.
Jesus, guys, we'll talk about that later. That's a whole nother.
But like I said, who would want to bring a child into a stressful environment? This is very stressful.
Right.
Very, very stressful.
Even to piggyback off of that article, of course, California is putting forth a bill to make vasectomies cheaper. So, yeah.
Let me tell you about my experiences with because I was thinking about getting a vasectomy, but I had no children.
Okay,
and I was in my late 20s. I was in my late 20s, and I wanted to have it done, and they wouldn't do it because they said they were saying I was too young, and suppose you want to change your mind later on down the road. I was like, who the fuck want to be wearing rubbers for the rest of your goddamn life? All right. But
is there like a clamp you could do that just in case you change your mind? Like a lap band?
But you gotta remember that was like back in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
So it was a lot different.
Okay.
Because they were actually doing clip and burn.
Oh, so they was cutting it off completely
they were and then sometimes if they cut too much.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What if they cut too much and then you can't even stand up no more? You just looking like
because it had to be a certain distance so that because sometimes they would reattach.
Oh,
they would heal, and if it's
okay,
all you need is one to get through. One lone soldier. Yeah, it was black, right? Rolling up in that cab, you'd be like, "What the fuck?" But,
I made it.
So I wonder if that same mentality still applies now. That even if you don't have any children, and you don't want any, would they even still consider doing it?
I don't know. Personally, I think if they even considered it, or if they made it kind of sort of a situation, my thing would be, who would you gear towards getting it, and who would you not kind of stay away from getting it? Being that the abortion thing is really more about them wanting to make sure that their population kind of increases and it doesn't become such of a mixture.
They're not going to push it to white people.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, would you just,
because it works in their advantage?
Right. Would you give the option, or would you just immediately okay, no problem, without consequence to other groups, and then tell them, well, no, wait, because you might want to, I can give you this to kind of hold it off for a while, and then maybe later, I don't know. It's just something to make you go, that's all. You know that they trying to cut your members off. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know.
You say you don't know?
No, I don't.
Can't do face shots forever.
Some people says it helps their skin grow.
Well, I don't know.
So in other news also, Governor DeSantis, otherwise known as AKA Governor DeSatan, out in Florida, start arresting folks for voter fraud. Now you say, what the hell is going on? Yeah. So Ron DeSantis has already arrested 20 people with felony convictions who were arrested for illegally voting in 2020. The first set of charges arose from when he recently formed an elections crime unit. All right. These felons would be groups of people from the South Florida area. I'll wait for the not surprised. Who would be ineligible to vote under the Fourth Amendment, which measures passed in 2018 that does not allow those who have been convicted of murder or felony sex crimes to regain their right to vote. All right. A lot of these people that have been arrested already, the 20 people that have been arrested already, were cleared to get voting licenses and everything. So they don't even understand how they were detained and arrested and now charged with voter fraud. So, I mean, it's just, again, it's just a way for them to stop new voters from changing the electorate and making things different. So they will find any way they can to kind of get at people. And I think that this is another ridiculous way that they will try to end people's right to vote. And trust, your right to vote is your right. And granted, yeah, there are certain things that limit your right to vote, like being in jail, in prison. But, you know, some states have overturned that too and have talked about allowing prisoners to vote. So, you know, I think as Americans, we should all have the right to vote. I think that that's something that, you know, you take away somebody's freedom because they committed a crime. I get that, but everybody should still have the right to vote because they still have representation, even though they're incarcerated. They're still being represented. So, you know, I think that they should have representation that reflects some of their needs as well. I mean, granted, we can demonize the criminality, but then when do you get to the part where, especially in places where it's supposed to be a correction, there's no correction if we're constantly demonizing the people and not giving them an opportunity to actually turn their life around and do something different. So anyway, your thoughts on that? If any?
Those 20 people need to get together and file a class action suit.
They sure
them.
They sure as hell do. They sure as hell do.
Go ahead and get some of that money. I'm like, get that bag any way you can nowadays.
Right. That's it. That's it. If you got to come together and get it.
It's like, oops, you done messed up. Thank you.
Right.
Let's try this.
Right. Exactly. Anything will work at this point. And trust and believe they got it. They better hurry up and get it before that bill hits when Disney is no longer responsible for paying their taxes. And Governor,
oh man, that's
gonna be a problem. I can't wait for that to happen. But speaking of governors, this other governor, my favorite one, Governor Hot Wheels, vroom, vroom, has drawn fury for claims that about ARs, about buying assault rifles, that he cannot increase the buying age of assault rifles. Of course, I'm not surprised. They wanted to change the minimum age to 21 to purchase an assault weapon, but Governor Hot Wheels, otherwise known as Greg Abbott, has declined and said he cannot change that law. So, you know, with the shooting in Uvalde with the little children, everybody has been pressuring him to change the age to buy an assault weapon from 18 to 21. He has vowed not to change it. And he says that it's already been ruled that it's unconstitutional. But clearly, if you can say somebody has to be 21 to drink because that's a quote unquote responsible age, even though there are some people that, you know, drink and still are irresponsible. But then how is holding a weapon that can cause deadly harm to so many people not the same thing? I don't get that with him. I really don't. But, you know, these people are gun-ho and trying to protect the NRA and all these people that support their campaigns and their way of life, that it's really ridiculous. And at the hands of children, even white children. And that's the part that's crazy, that they don't give a goddamn. And they're quick to talk about children and birth. And I've talked about this before, and the moment of conception or where life begins. You're so interested in that, but once they get here, you don't give a shit about them.
Totally
once
different
they get
story.
here, you don't give a goddamn about them. It's either that or you don't want them, you know, around gay things or expressing themselves in a way that is different. So that you have a problem with, but you don't have a problem with a kid just picking up a firearm and just going crazy, for whatever reason. And it's nothing. Nothing's ever done. We always sit here and go back and forth with the changing of the laws, but nothing is ever done. So, I just think it's time for new people at the helm, because this is crazy. This is really crazy.
That's right, Texas, because winter is coming.
Yeah, winter is coming for real.
Again.
Right. Have your generators on and popping. Because he ain't paying the bill.
He just makes no sense whatsoever. Well, none of the Republican governors do. They just make no sense. Self-centered, narcissistic, all of them.
Yeah. Well, that's how it is sometimes. But in this season, of course, now that we've ushered out of summer and we have entered in the midterm election season, the new congressional maps have diluted Black power. Critics are saying the civil rights activists and some lawmakers are concerned that redistricting maps in 3 southern states will dilute the voice of Black people. Not surprised. So like Baton Rouge and certain areas in South Carolina, they have been changed due to these new redistricting laws, which have really cut into a lot of the voting power of Black people. In 1965, of course, the Voting Rights Act outlawed discrimination and voting practices of many states in the South, where Jim Crow laws were also restricting people voting and where people could vote, live, work, etc., study, so on and so forth. So yet 60 years later, and here we are yet again.
Never-ending cycle.
No. It never does stop. So it's sometimes it's so heavy that it's just like, dang, like I wish people would understand the power in their vote. I don't care who you vote for. People are always so concerned that you're always trying to make people vote Democratic. No, I'm not. I'm just saying, let's watch it, listen, and pay attention. Just don't, because it's flashy, don't go run into it because you think, because at the end of the day, it's not for you. It may not be for you. It may not be for your interests or your children or your family or where you're trying to go in life. I think it's just important that we pay attention to these things, because these lawmakers, especially our local officials, are the ones who are making laws that really affect us. This whole Washington, D.C.'s back and forth, that really, that doesn't affect much. But your local officials can stop a bag on your ass real quick. And I'm just, that just needs to go out here. That that they're really trying to curve this vote. They've seen what will happen back in 2020 with that election, how a lot of the inner cities came out to vote and just said, you know what, I'm not even feeling this no more. Maybe a lot of people were, but a lot of people came out and voted. All right. So now they're just trying any which way they can to avert that shift. So for this election cycle, which is the midterms of 2020, and then for 24 next year, in 2 years, to ensure that, of course, whatever Republican candidate comes forth, whether it be Donald Trump or the Satan or whomever else, will be able to get in there and be cool. And if they have the power and the numbers to, even if they don't make it, they can fake it like they made it, just like, he tried to do just now. So I think in this time, if they don't start pushing to change a lot of these laws for elected officials, as well as making sure to ensure that people have the right to vote and not trying to underhand their right to vote, I think that's something that we definitely need to be paying attention to. But but that's all I got to say on that. Any question? Anything you want to add to that?
No, just remember your decision now will impact your kids and your grandkids.
Right. That part is very, very, very
true. It's not just for you.
No, it's not. And that's the selfish thing that a lot of people feel like, oh, this ain't, this only going to affect me, or this only, this is not going to affect people after me. Like, these things have lasting effects for 10 and 20 years down the line. We may not even know the lasting effects of a lot of these political things that come across, but they will wind up affecting us. So it's always that to keep in mind. So this is one quick one of this. Oh no, Joe. Jesus Christ. This man. God damn, Joe. God damn you, Joe. All right. So President Joe Biden is still urging to fund the police. At the same time, Black people are dying left and right at the hands of police still. And you don't have nothing else to come to the table with? Something? And I know this whole defund the police thing, it probably scares other white folks, so that's why he's pushing to continue to fund the police, to kind of keep that part of, I guess, his voting block kind of in his pocket. But people are dying still.
Yeah.
People are still dying. People are still getting beat up and on camera, and then they try to, criminalize the people videotaping these police doing these heinous acts to people. But this is still happening, regardless of all the training, the Breonna Taylors, the George Floyd, all of this still, very much fresh in people's minds and in their thoughts and things. And these type of forms of brutality and murder are still happening. So I'm just trying to figure out, well, what are we doing? Because there's nothing being done. What they sit in a class for a couple of days and go back on the street to continue.
What exactly is training?
Right. That is my question. What exactly is in this training? Because if it's just somebody just saying, this is diversity, this is how you should approach the people who are different than you. This is, this is what this means. This is what bigotry means. This is, if it's something like that, no. That's not what is needed here. Because obviously the people already have these preconceived notions in their head. I just somebody sent me a video clip, and I was gonna post it, but it wouldn't let me bring it over here. It was a young 15-year-old kid who was riding his I think he was riding a moped bike or something of that nature, and the police he thought the police were going after somebody else, but they wind up pulling him over, and he was on the sidewalk. He wasn't even in the street, and they asked him to get off the bike. He asked them a couple questions, but the other officer, as he's talking to the one officer on the bike, the other officer just comes out of nowhere and just like slams into him and like kicks him or knees him in the head. It's just all kinds of craziness. The boy is 15 years old, and it's just like, yeah, there was a black officer that came over and kicked him, which he should be held accountable as well. But it's the whole mentality of the police system in itself. Like, everybody does not deserve that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways that you can ask questions without thinking, answer my question or else, or you do what I say or else I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Like, that's not the way you need to do, because you wouldn't have done it had it been Billy riding his moped through the street. You wouldn't have attacked him like that. So I just feel like it's just really unfortunate and sad. But if I find that story, I will post it in my probably on my Instagram, because YouTube be acting up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I think I've seen that one. Did the guy like kick him in the head or something, or kick him in the chest? He was just out of
like on the ground already. He was like falling to the ground, and then he just ran up and kicked him, and you could see. And the only reason why he got caught on the car cam, because you can see the kid laying up against the car, and as he was falling to the ground, the officer just comes running up and kicks him. And it was like he wasn't any threat to any of the officers. the officers were clearly a lot bigger than this 15-year-old. So the excessive force was unnecessary and uncalled for. But it is what it is.
Yeah, like I said, nothing's changed.
Right.
So I guess Joe's going to go around for round 2 with this fund the police.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like it's not working. And then in places where you are getting the support, you're not even trying to come up with a solution that would help. Like legislative wise, come up with something that all the states would have to abide by. We're not even doing that. We're still talking about pockets of areas where, if there's a killing, then let that state deal with how to legislate the policing. No, make it mandated for all the police everywhere. I think that's a start, but this whole pocketed stuff it's not where it's at. So I did share a story.
Well, too, you have to remember. You have to remember the reason why you voted for Joe in the first place. We did not expect much from him.
Yeah.
Okay, so
right, yeah, that is true.
So
that part is true.
Think about it. He's just Trump light.
Yeah, that part is true. I do have to remind myself of that.
So just give yourself a USA.
Yeah.
No, we knew what he was about, and we knew of his past. That's why we're not surprised.
Yeah, that part is true. You're absolutely right on that. See, that's Wusa. This makes me go.
Just.
All right, for Joe.
Should have made that drink a little stronger.
Yeah, I should have. Definitely should have. But speaking of stronger drinks, let's get these some of our Caucasian friends and brothers and sisters together, because apparently white people are saying that they've been discriminated against more than Black Americans. Polls are finding the grievances have been at the heart of the conservative GOP politics, and they're extreme to have played a role in the mass shootings, such as the one in Buffalo. So they feel like they have been harassed more than Black Americans for just being themselves and being upright citizens. And they shouldn't have to feel this way about how they feel. I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, they hold a large part of political, economical, and social levels of power. So where are they being discriminated against?
Just life is just so hard. That's why they're jumping out of windows. Who's the guy from
life is hard, though, that's a choice. But that's a choice you've made. If you had it all kind of worked out for you to where, if you really, you didn't even have to work that hard to go to a decent school, to do this, to even have a decent job. Like, you didn't have to go through hoops and make sure you perform better than this one and that one to even be looked at. I mean, so if you just sat back and like, oh, this is easy, I ain't got to do much, I could just sit back and chill, then yeah, you deserve whatever station you at and people are above you. You deserve all of that. You can have all of it. But yeah, I'm not here for the white tears. I'm really not. Hey, Tiff and Bill, how are you? I'm not here for the white tears. I can't. I really can't.
Just makes you want to go out and test gravity, don't it?
Yeah, it does. It really does. It's like I am not here for the tears. Everything has been geared to promote even your self-esteem, even in yourself. Whether you believed it or not, everything has been shaped around
for you.
Yeah, everything has been shaped
for
around
your feelings.
Everything looking at you as your image, as the image of your grandparent. You had Jesus, you had God. Everybody looked at like a grandparent, an uncle, somebody that you knew. That's what looked like in the whole scheme of things. You go to your nation's capital, and every monument is a white man sitting up there, high overlooking the hills of the country, and you can sit there, stand up proudly and say, I am America, and be okay with that, and be cool, and be thinking, my ancestors built this place and didn't do a damn thing.
And willing to have history changed so it will not offend you in any way.
This is what I'm saying. Like, we'll talk about
welcome to America.
Right. Like, I was just watching because you know, on the holidays they don't play much news, they play those specials. So I was watching a special talking about like Southern pride, and they had of course the black investigative reporter and then the black historian go together down in the deep South to talk to white folks about their heritage and their history with holding on to the Confederacy and all that kind of stuff. They even talked to Jefferson Davis's like great grandson, and you know, he's like, well, as a man of his time, that's what he believed. I don't necessarily believe that today, but I do think it's an important part of American history. Yeah, okay. But if that's the case, then all of it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the atrocities you did to black folks during slavery, that's part of American history too. Why do we just wipe over that and just glorify, oh, it was just Southern people standing up for Southern rights? No. The wealthy cotton owners, of course, they wanted to continue slavery. They just got a bunch of you poor white folks together thinking the government's trying to take your money, but you didn't have no money to begin with. You were working for the plantation owners, overseeing their slaves. So of course, you know what I'm saying? It's just that whole mentality of warped heritage and all this other kind of stuff, that it was interesting, but it was just really like looking at it like, really? So we're not going to talk about the other stuff. We're just going to glorify, well, these Confederate soldiers are buried here well, that's what all those monuments should be, in cemeteries with their dead asses. They should not be in public buildings, public places, promoting things of that nature. Like I've always said, you don't go nowhere in Germany and you see no pictures of Hitler sitting there talking about there's Hitler Park. There is no such thing. There is no statue of Hitler nowhere, probably, but the place where he killed himself in that damn mountain, if he did that. Where they even probably have a plaque of where his body was found or what have you. But they don't have no statues nowhere promoting anything of World War II as far as what Hitler had done or any kind of accomplishments Hitler had done in Germany. The fuck no, they don't. Only here do we sit here and talk about praising people who was treasonous against their own government as some form of, oh, look at the power, look at the greatness of these men. Yeah, okay, save me on that with the white tears.
Welcome to America.
But anyway, that's all I got to say about that. But anyway, moving right along, as Kimmy would say, moving right along to, speaking of white tears, how about some black tears that's almost like white? Paris Dennard.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Speaking of black tears, that's almost like white. Paris Dennard got fired from the RNC. Now, those of you who don't know who Paris Dennard is, how could you not? Paris Dennard was the only black person, well, one of the very only black people that would always defend Donald Trump. But he started a little bit with President George W. Bush. That's where he started to like make a name for himself. But then as Trump became more of a front runner and a person to kind of looking towards to be the president in the race against Hillary, he was really very vocal about President Trump and all the great stuff President Trump would do for black folks and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. And all of a sudden, kind of just faded in the background.
Oh, that's because he was getting excited and touchy feely out there.
Yeah,
a little nasty stuff.
Little
nasty weirdo, and that's exactly what he looked like.
That's just what he looked like.
Nasty weirdo.
Right. Hey, detach yourself. How you doing? He just looks like a little creepo. And yeah, so the RNC has dismissed his ass because again, they only need you. They only use you for what they need you for. And if you're gonna be the black face to promote that the Republican Party is inclusive, then that's what they need you for. So you need to make sure that you are just as squeaky clean. You ain't doing no extra shit. And of course, he's been doing a whole lot of.
He was doing extra shit. That's why his ass just disappeared off of TV one day.
Right,
he was just gone.
Right. CNN said,
I thought he had gotten an appointment somewhere.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought he did too.
Yeah, was an appointment with jail with with R. Kelly,
right?
And Bill Cosby
talking about something.
Mess with the little college girls.
He didn't know their age. Yeah, the hell you didn't.
We knew your age with that receding ass hairline.
I'm surprised why she didn't know.
She knew.
Right.
She probably told him you were creepy.
Right.
Shave that shit, motherfucker. That's what you probably told. Shave that shit.
Well, no, I'm sure he was using his influence and the things and the people he knew and the connections to kind of get them. He was probably
like
them lily whites.
You know how guys become dickish because white guys do it all the time. They think that their prestige precedes them.
Yeah, that's true.
People don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
It's like you still look fucking creep.
Right. That's crazy.
That was funny. Wait, I even had look at he sitting in that picture. He just looks like a creep.
He does. He looks like he looks creepy. He definitely does look creepy and old as hell. He's not even that old.
No, but he's close. He's close to white. That's that white gene. You know the age of motherfucker. Even if you got melanin. Look at Clarence Thomas.
Right.
And Jenny.
I don't even see how that is even a match, but whatever.
That was nasty. That was nasty looking back then. It's even more nasty looking
it's worse, now. Right. Yeah, it's even nastier now that they're older, right?
Uncle Ruckus fucking Doris Day. That's some nasty shit.
That's what it looked like. That's just what it looked like. All right. So real quick, in case you're looking for me in other places, before we get started into the other side of this whole conversation, when we start talking about YouTube and other stuff, if you're looking for me other places, you can find me on one of these other outlets. All right. Now let's get to it. This is a part of the show.
Before you get into it, congratulate your boy.
Congratulations.
No, Antonio.
Oh, well, I'm gonna put the man on the spot. I don't want to necessarily put the man on the spot, but definitely if he is watching, or he's watching later, congratulations to Antonio, otherwise known as what do you call himself?
Edith.
I
don't know what Edith.
Edith
Pussy.
Edith.
We want to congratulate Edith.
Yeah, we want to congratulate Edith on making that step of being a grown-ass man and marrying his fiance over the August month. And shout out to you. I mean, you did it. You know, I can live vicariously through you. I'm so proud of you. Your big brother is so proud. All right. So moving right along. But no, congratulations. I am excited to have, he was already like a brother anyway, but the two of y'all to now drive me crazy in a nice way. But congratulations and welcome. But anyway, let's get to it. So yeah, let's just hit this button once I find that we can get to it. Here we go.
Hey, who said that? Who said that? Who Who is this saying that? Who said that? Who said that?
I said what I said. All right, who said that? So let's get into it. So here's the segment of the show where we just talk about YouTube stuff, what's going on in the streets, or anything that has just like populated, like since we've been here and on live. So I work most of the morning, so I didn't get to see a lot of things, hear a lot of things. So sometimes it's all in passing, or if I happen to be like, just listening to something. So there's a few things that I was like, oh, no, what? Wait. First of all, on serious note, a little bit, some people on this apparatus need to be taking their medicine because I don't think it's not healthy for you to be on here. Apparently, a situation happened on Tracy's World where they may possibly have had some sort of things happen where she brandished something on a live stream that caused people to be very concerned. And if it was as in the words of some, as just Kimmy would say, a junkie stunt, then I think it's very poor taste. However, mental health is something real and something not to be played with. And I think people play with it entirely too much on here, that it's not entertaining. It's not entertainment and it's not entertaining. So yeah, on that note, y'all need to get yourselves checked out and go sit and talk to somebody. Like, this is not therapy. This is not it. And I get it. People know that.
That's true too. This is not, these people are not therapists. They're not licensed to.
No.
They can
and
give you advice.
Everybody's crazy is different. Everybody's crazy is different just because some people may
and that
be
is true,
dealing with their own mental health. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just because people may be with their own mental, don't make the expert on your mental ass. You know what I'm saying? On your crazy ass. It's like, so stop doing this. Stop trying to self-diagnose other people with your own.
You don't save any money.
Diagnosis, right? This is not helping. Get your ass on the couch, get your ass some medication, and sit the fuck down somewhere. If you're
not getting the help, you're not getting the help that you need. All you're doing is prolonging your agony.
If you're looking for friends and attention, bitch, this ain't it. This not the way you're doing this.
Get a service dog.
Get a service dog. Get a service pet or some shit. That's the way you do that. But this is not the way you do it, because the truth of the matter is, you may have been playing or trying to get attention from folks, but the reality is, this stuff, even though you think you delete it, will still stay. And if a court is ordered, if a court order comes across the table for them to show and retrieve information to confirm whatever situations, they will pull up this shit in a heartbeat, and you be sitting up there trying to explain that you were just doing this for YouTube and payola and get your ass caught up, and you'll end your ass up in a jacket that you may not like because it won't have no arms, sweetheart. So just get your shit right.
And understand that you may ask advice from the wrong person, and they're using you. They're using you for clicks and views.
Well,
that's it.
Using yourself,
and they will continue to use you as long as it works for them.
Right. All right. So in other news, also other YouTube news, I just heard not too long ago, but Mr. Whitehead, the pastor, the hip hop bishop, as he calls himself, because I didn't hear the motherfucker call him that, but he calls himself the hip hop bishop, is suing Larry Reed and King Jives for $20 million for claiming that his robbery was a hoax. Now, I don't think I've heard any of them say that it was necessarily a hoax. They just looked at what was presented that everybody else seen, and they did commentary on exactly what they saw and gave their opinions. I know he's reaching for a Tasha K moment with a Cardi B, but there's two different things here. Two different things, two different situations. One is actually presented that you presented to the people, and another one was something totally, not known for sure, just totally just saying blah, 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 whatever Tasha K had said in regards to that. So two different things here. And however, the sad part about it, a lot of people don't really know how the legal system works when you're suing folks. There's a thing called discovery, and all those things kind of get exposed to the councils exactly what's what, like you have to bring forth evidence. You can't just, it looks cute to say that and, have people put it in the paper, or you be on prime time or be on some big news outlet talking about who you're suing for this amount of money. But the reality is, one, you have a whole lot of prior still going on in your own life with people that you have done wrong to. So that's not looking good on your behalf. And, just with the whole situation and the story in and of itself, which on face value looks sketchy. I mean, it's just the reality of it. It didn't look right. It didn't even look like and
he should got some real actors.
This is what I'm saying. Like you paid the money to get some Tyler Perry actors, because it just doesn't make any sense to me.
But not the hair.
It just looks crazy. The fact that you came right on to defend or go after people who questioned what had happened to you definitely didn't look good on your behalf. Made it look even more kind of suspicious. So, I mean, it's a lot to it, but Larry Reed is not shy from people trying to sue him or come after him. So he is prepared. And I'm sure Jives has Pam Esquire and others kind of giving him a play-by-play to get him prepared to, if he needs to present himself in court, he's ready to. So, I mean, I don't know. I think people throw stuff out there and think somebody's supposed to be scared because you throw out a lawsuit. And it's just like, okay, now you got to actually present. You can't just throw stuff out there and think, okay,
he's trying to get some money to pay them bills.
Yeah, right. Pay them bills and pay for that house that he's supposed to be selling. Hey, what's up, Rico?
Hey, Rico, how you doing?
Nice to see you. So, other words, okay, so let's get right into this whole situation with Tiffany Haddish, and I'll give you my thoughts on this whole Tiffany Haddish situation. Now, and I may be a difference of opinion, and that's fine. We can debate, we can agree to disagree, and all that. I'm okay with that. I mean, it's a skit in bad taste to me. I really didn't see. I mean, I watched it 2 and 3 times. I really didn't see anything.
Did you see the unredacted version?
I saw the version with,
because they had everything blocked out.
No, I saw. I think I saw the unredacted version with him and the little boy, and then the paper and the holes in the newspaper. That's the one I saw.
Yeah, but then they had most. The one I kept seeing had everything pretty much blocked out.
Oh no! I mean, it was like it was showing her uncle, who she would just take her child to go watch him because he was always home.
And he was a perv.
And he was a bit of a perv, right? So the first scene, he's watching the child, and the child is in his underwear, playing with a truck, and he's like reading the paper. And as he pulls the paper down, there's 2 peepholes eyes in the paper, and there's R. Kelly playing in the background. I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind, right? And he's giving these whole Bill Cosby pudding pop kind of noises, like as he's looking, right? So then they go into the next scene, and she calls uncle over again to watch her son because she got to go to run some errands, but her errands are gonna run all night, and all day and all night, because she's like, oh, I got to go to CVS and pick up my drug, to pick up some prescriptions, and then I gotta go here and do this and do that, and I won't be until like later on tomorrow night, some mess like that. And I'm just like, what? Like, just say you're not gonna be home. Like, I don't, whatever. So he's in the bath or whatever, then he's sitting by him, looking at him in the bath. He said something to him. I didn't catch that part. And then he wound up getting in the bath with him, like wrestling, like in the water. But the dude had his clothes on. And so then we get to the final scene where and I'm paraphrasing all this, so we ain't going through all because I'm not playing it. If you want to watch it, go find it. The final scene,
they just snatched it down. Every time you go look for it, it's gone.
Right. The final scene is where the uncle character, he then, for the last time, she asks, "Uncle, can you watch, whatever the kid's name is?" He's like, "Sure." So he would normally wink at the kid. Like he would give the kid a wink or whatever, and the kid just be looking at him like, okay. But this time, and the last time, the kid winked at him. And he looking like, the hell? What you winking at me for? And then the roles kind of reversed. How he was looking at the little boy with the newspaper, and then kind of the paper would come down and it'd be like peepholes in it. The little boy was now looking at him through the paper and, seeing him all oiled up or with no shirt on or what have you. Now, do I think the skit was in poor taste? Yes. I definitely think it was in poor taste. Do I think it necessarily had, oh my gosh, this is canceled? Not really. I mean, I just think it like a lot of other comedians do. They do stuff in poor taste where you're not really a fan of or disagree with what they're presented. Cool. That part I get, because I really just didn't understand people's like complete outrage when these same people have sat there and watched an actual artist put his face and tongue and whatever else in underage girls. We all seen the video. You've all seen the video of R. Kelly doing it way before all this even happened, where he was being charged and people were still promoting his music, still, like it was nothing, water under the bridge. But now for something, because we're in cancel culture now everything is, oh my God, I can't believe, cancel her. This is crazy. I just don't, I'm not following it. Like I just don't see it. I don't see it. I really don't. You sat there and watched R. Kelly do the same exact thing and talking about, oh, that's not me. That's my twin brother, Robert, or whatever the fuck you called him. And we all sitting there like, oh, okay. Seeing the Soul Train Awards and all this shit behind him. But that was real life. And we talking about something that is, granted, it may be distasteful, but it was satire. I'm like, where are we going? Like, know the difference from something that's being distasteful and yet, whatever, may not be everybody's cup of tea, but shit, you've seen that man. Clearly, it's clear as day. And not one of you stopped supporting his music. Well, I may not like what he did, but I love his music. Until now we reach an age where it's like, what, 30 years later, 20 years later since even that happened, and now you want to come at him? So of course he's going to feel some type of way. Bitch, you should have came at him early on when it first happened. When it was on that VHS tape that was all spotty and glitchy and,
It was snowy as shit.
Yeah, it was snowy as shit. There was no HD.
I had to watch it 3 times. I couldn't see.
This is what I'm saying. Like, I only knew the last scene, because that's the studio that he did one of the music videos in. That was like, oh, that's the same damn studio he was singing in that one video. So, but I just, no, I'm kidding. I don't think she's fun. I mean, I don't think she's funny like that. To me, she's not like, she's not the next big comedian I would think of. No. I think she just has her own lane.
She just got caught up.
Yeah, she has her own lane.
Because that was karma for Aries.
For Aries,
for the whole Lizzo thing.
Yeah,
so of course,
that's all
she got dragged along. That right. Wasn't. Now, the sketch was in poor taste. What they should have done, if they were going to do that type of sketch, was use adults.
Yeah.
You had an adult dressed up as a kid or something like that. That's what they should have done. They should have used an actual kid. I think that was a bit too much. And see, like I was saying, I couldn't see because the copies that I kept seeing, they were all barred out. They were all redacted.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they literally had a black bar with the dog or something, a little cute puppy face or something on it, and you couldn't see anything. So I couldn't see. I couldn't see if the kid was like in underwear. I didn't know if the way that maybe he was sitting on the floor, was it suggestive, that type of thing. So that kind of cut everything else.
Right. He was sitting on the floor Indian style, just playing with the truck, right? And then he was on his knees playing with the truck. But he wasn't on his knees like popping it. That he would be because it would be like a normal kid would be on their knees with the truck, not even paying attention. Now, what dude was thinking was, of course, looking at him in the suggestive way through the little peepholes in the paper. And as the song was playing, so you kind of knew what was it, but it wasn't nothing where in which he was touching them, touching them inappropriately. I think there was one scene where he had oil and I don't know if he was dreaming that he was spraying oil on the boy or what have you. I don't know, but there was an oil scene where he put oil on the boy's back as he was playing with the truck, but then it quickly cut to the next scene. So again, like I said, yes, it was distasteful, but do I think it was like, oh my God, cancel? No, I just think he called Lizzo a fat. She looks fat and like a fat piece of shit, which again,
fat piece of shit.
That is his. Granted, we may not like it because we may not agree with, but he's entitled to his opinion. If he think that's what Lizzo look like, that's his business.
Yeah, but that came out of nowhere. With the interview, it's not as though she attacked him or something like that.
Right.
Now, if they were going back and forth, and it's like,
but he's always been that type of. He's always been that type of.
He's never been. He's
never been fun. To me, since Mad TV, he's never been funny, never been funny, but he will always say something, because when he's done interviews before, he would say something that would grab people's attention, and it'd be for a brief moment. I think this is the longest anybody's ever talked about him, but usually he would say something that was distasteful and would grab people's attention for a moment, and then they go right on about their business because they'd be like, who is he? He's nobody, don't nobody, whatever. But my whole thing is, because he called Lizzo fat, and you go to then digging this up to be like Platow, because they do this a lot when artists say stuff and they feel like, oh, well, I support her. And it's like, well, take a step back. Look at him. He's sitting up there calling Lizzo fat, and you don't see this nigga about 2 sandwiches away from being.
Actually, that motherfucker look like he needs a date with a dialysis machine. That's what I'm saying. He look like he about ready to kill.
He's been drinking so much, so that's why I'm just like, I just it's like defend what she doesn't need defending. Why do we feel like he called her?
Well, he shouldn't have attacked her in the first place.
No,
because it was pointless. I mean, that was like totally out of left field,
right?
And people, especially women, are tired of ugly ass motherfuckers.
That part.
Telling them how they supposed to be looking. How many of these fat fuckers you see walking around with no shirts on, thinking they looking good and shit?
Right.
But yet you going to tell a woman she look like a pile of shit?
Right. No, that part is true. You
get tired. And I'm sure women get tired of that shit because the standards are different.
Yeah,
a man can look like his titties are probably bigger than her.
His titties bigger than her titties. But no, but see, like with me, with her, is my only issue is that like she'll do stuff, like she'll wear very provocative stuff and then feel some type of way when people are commenting on what she's wearing. But you're wearing it, so just stand like
she's overcompensating instead of. She's like the other little girl, the sister that sings, the sister of the one that's playing the Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah.
These ladies have talent. They can actually sing. They can actually hold a note. Lizzo's actual musician.
Right.
Okay. They don't need to dress like that. I have a problem with that little girl. Because she actually has talent, and I'm tired of seeing her ass.
Right. That's all I'm saying. It's like, show your talent. You're sitting up there showing your body, and I guess trying to prove that you're comfortable in your skin, and that part is great. cool. Be comfortable in your skin. If you're gonna wear it and stand by it. Don't wear it. Then the minute you start getting attacked for what you're wearing, or people start talking about it, then you want to cry and go back on Instagram talking
because
about,
they know they're not built for that. Especially coming from it's hard to retaliate against a total stranger. She's probably never met that man. She might have just remembered him from the old shows.
Right.
Actually, she probably just remembered from the episodes with Mrs. Swan on them, some shit like that. And that's about it. It's like who the hell is, you know, who the hell
but
is
but this is what I'm saying. Like, for everybody to take what he's saying, because the dude asked him, what does he think about this person, that person, which he just threw names out there to kind of, I guess, you know, in the interview that a guy does, he throws names out there. What do you think about this artist? What do you think about that artist? To get what the person would say. And of course he's going to say something, because he already knows, one, it was going to go viral and people were going to be talking about him. So of course he was going to say something that would make people go, oh, now why would he say that? Why would he attack her like that? But then to say, oh, well, you attacked her, but let's pull this out. Let's dig this out. And it's just
and Tiffany Haddish just happened to get caught because she was just there at the time. Right. And this was like years ago. Right. So she was probably trying to break in the business. You know, you'll do anything.
Right. Yeah.
But, even though I don't think she's funny either. I think she does too much.
No, like she has funny moments. She's funny in
she don't even have that for she's like that one. It's like I'm still not getting it.
Like there was moments in that movie where she was the sister and the brother and the other guy that does crazy shit, that does crazy comedic shit, was driving to see this girl. They were supposed to be going like halfway across the country or what. I forgot the name of the movie, but she was.
I did like her. What is it, sister with her and Jada Pinkett and all
Girl
of them.
Trip.
Girl Trip. I did like her in that.
And then like certain moments in that, she was funny, but she wasn't like I wasn't like cracking up like
she's not that tight.
I feel the same way about Kevin Hart movies. It's like there's certain movies
I don't like Kevin Hart.
And then
he's not funny to me.
Like you're not funny. So
it should be natural. It seems forced. That's what it does. It's like when somebody's really trying to be funny and they're just not. And it's like whatever you say. It's like no, you just need to stop, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying Lizzo isn't beautiful, not at all. Of course she is, but I'm just saying at the same time she does stuff to put herself in a situation where when the feedback comes and she doesn't like it, then it's like, oh, you're attacking me. But no, if you're gonna do it, stand in it. And don't think about what people are gonna say. You could care less about what people are gonna say.
Just going ahead and if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. But she overcompensates because there's no way in the world, and I don't know who her team is, told her that she should walk out there with that spaghetti bikini thing on at that because that was too much. But then Aries needs to realize too that the majority of people in the United States, women, have bodies like Lizzo.
Yeah.
That is the norm.
He knows that he's not hanging around in no A celebrities. He's not. So he knows. He's seen a lot of these common D celebrity kind of women that are just natural.
Corner store. Because you know that motherfucker walking to the corner. He walking to the bodega. He walking to the corner store. That's what that motherfucker doing.
And you sitting there showing
nobody's restaurant.
You showing people clips of when you was on Mad TV years ago.
What have you done
since then? Not a damn thing.
Looking bad. Like I said, that boy, like he needs to have a date with a dialysis machine.
He's got a lot of dark circles and spots.
Yeah, he look bad. He look like he look like the Lord is calling him.
Something's calling him. No, it doesn't look like
in his ear.
Just
something calling him.
You, Uncle Ezra. That's what it sounds like. But at the same time, right? Like, you know, I get it. If you're proud about your body, then you want to show it off. Cool, I get that. But I don't get if you're proud about your body 1 minute, then the minute somebody says something, then it's like, oh, don't talk about my body, but you put
that
it out there.
that or you're crying
right
in front of the world.
Yeah,
don't get up on social media and start boo-hooing.
Right.
Because now they know your weakness, and every time you do something, they're gonna nail your ass for it.
Right. Exactly. Right. And as you should be. As you should be. So it's showing my ass, silly. But as you should be. Yeah, so I mean that's my thoughts on that. I just think that, sometimes we quick to cancel. And sometimes it's like, yo, take a step back. Like even with the cancel.
They should cancel him, but they
But I mean, he was already what was he doing? He was
that's true. Well, yeah, you know what? You can't cancel somebody unless
that's already canceled. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's already canceled. Like you can't cancel somebody who's already canceled. That's why I didn't even understand them going after him in the way that you did, because all you did was relight some people's interest in who he was to begin with. Because I'm sure a lot of people never even knew who he was. So it's like that's all you did. So sometimes it's just cool to be like, all right, you may say your response, but I'm not giving you no attention because who are you?
I bet you a lot of people say, I thought he died.
That's what I did.
If you just said his name, I said, I think he did. He die like back in COVID time?
Right. He would be one that, and I don't die off people. One of my friends, she does. And you know who you are. But I don't die off people. But that's what I would have died off.
If I ain't seen you for a week, you suspect. Suspect.
You don't went on the glory.
I think he dead.
Yeah.
You don't need to win in threes, right?
You would have just been one in the three.
Name get added to the list. I don't know if he did. We needed one more. Make the trifecta.
To complete the circle. So I don't know. I just feel like we go around cancel, even like with the Dave Chappelle thing. Quick to cancel, and it was like, yo, if you really watched the special, he was really talking about race. He wasn't even talking about that. But of course, people just want to take the little bits and pieces that they do here and then run with it, like, oh, cancel because he's being discriminatory. And it's like, no, he was talking about race.
You know what it is? Really people don't know the meaning of the word interpretation. And that they interpret things totally. You got feedback.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't know what the word interpretation means.
Yeah, but how could you not know what interpretation means when you interpret the Bible? Do you not?
Why you do that? You bring that book in here.
But you do. It ain't like you sitting there, ain't like you sitting there going, well, God, what did you really mean? You know what I'm saying? You're reading it and taking it upon yourself to what you think it means to you. It's the same thing. So I don't understand. Granted, some things people say may not be funny or interesting to others, and it may be interesting and funny to some. And that's cool. Right. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah, we gotta learn to
walk away from it.
Right. We gotta learn to respect what people may find funny or entertaining, and what other people may not find fun, as long as it's not harming anyone, like physically harming anyone. Hey, learn to just that's just not my thing. We're so caught up in this thing of cancel this, cancel that, and it's just like, well, what exactly are you canceling? Because you're not canceling the stuff where people are really dying from. We're not going out in the streets canceling police officers that are killing folks. We're not going out here canceling politicians that's letting dirty water still in Flint, Michigan, stay where people are still buying bottled water and doing these other things so they can like live normal lives here 5 years later after this shit. We're not canceling that, but we can talk about canceling people on social media and stuff for their opinions. Like, people give a shit.
Yeah, you don't have to react to everything.
The Z-list celebrities. I mean, like, is there a Z-list that he could be on? Who the fuck even knows what this man is doing?
It's called dead. Like I said, I thought he was dead.
So it's just not whatever. And then, she gets dragged into it. So then, of course, she's now trying to play victim. It seems like the last little interview thing I saw, we saw her lawyer was talking, like she was a victim also of this whole thing. And it's just like, first of all, stop, full stop. Don't play victim in something that you participated in. It's one thing to say, yeah, it was in bad taste. We did it as a comedic skit to make fun of, like, maybe the R. Kelly situation in the very beginning or the Bill Cosby situation. Yeah. And it was in bad taste. For that, I do apologize. But then to act like, oh, no, you're a victim of his victimhood, as if he may have pressured you into doing this.
She should have just owned up to it. This is what I was doing at the time.
Right.
X, Y, and Z.
I was just trying to get out there or help him out or he help me out. And, this is a skit he came up with. At the time, I thought it was funny. I thought it, we could, probably.
Yeah, but when they're doing skit, what person would actually use a child for a skit like that? That's a bit much. I mean, I have a dark sense of humor, but I know what
an actual child. Yeah, using an actual child would be a bit.
No, it would have been an adult
that maybe looks 20-something.
Yeah, with a striped Oshkosh shirt on, or something like it's something from Old Navy, looking like a kid. It would be it would be an actor. It wouldn't be an actual child.
Right. You could have got Stewart to sit there on the floor and act like the character Stewart, something, but not an actual child. I think that's where it really took it to a different place. But in essence, I think her kind of making him to be the abuser in all this and her also being a victim, bad choice. Bad choice. For me, she
always looks like she smells to me like onions or something.
Right.
Like a sub. She just has a funky smell to her. I mean, I don't know what it is. Every time I see it, I think of onions and a sub.
Like full court basketball, just straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Girl, that secret done told on you. That you smell a little musky.
Girl,
you smell like outside. Yeah, you smell like outside.
You need some men's deodorant.
By men. Get some testing and put it under your armpit.
Reliable.
Need some testing.
Do they even make that anymore?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And granted, I listen to a lot of people just say, cancel her. I think she's finished. I'll never watch another Tiffany Haddish or whatever.
No, she won't be finished.
I can't say that. I don't think she will be finished. I think, like with anything, maybe it'll die down for a bit, but she'll do something else. But I mean, again, we're acting like Tiffany Haddish was like a sought out smack dab person that people were looking for. And it's like, I didn't really see anything where people were calling for her.
It's only an issue because ain't nothing else going on out here. And as soon as something else pops up, we won't even think about it.
Right.
We will not. Ask Justin.
Right.
We will not even think about it.
That's another one. But so that was my thoughts on that. So we can agree to disagree. Let me know what y'all think about in the comments as well.
You need to stop hanging over there with them Kojic people. You bringing up the Bible.
What? No, but I'm just saying, it just don't make sense to me. Like when people, even when they talk about the Bible, it's like, but it's interpreted.
Like,
so why are we putting all this into something that is interpreted from another person's perspective?
Rabbit boiling in a pot.
Yeah, like from somebody else's perspective. Like, okay, you take what you, it's like taking something and you take what you can for you and you keep it, and the rest you kind of disregard. So I don't know,
because you're not going to agree with everything anyway.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to comment on everything.
Not at all.
No, but.
But
like I said, she just got caught up in it.
I don't know. Hey, Bench Thinker, how are you? Nice to see you. Long time no see. As my friend would say back in school, I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays. We used to say that to each other every time we seen each other. Let's see. So other than that, there was this other situation with Kimmy apparently having some kind of birthday getaway, and she invited, misunderstood, kind of knew about the secret or knew about the situation. I guess they were going to go away somewhere together, and allegedly misunderstood, who understood, told Tracy about the situation. But my whole thing is, and this is with just Kimmy, and girl, I love you. I ain't got no qualms with you, but I just got a question. If you know misunderstood was already kind of sort of like junkie-ishness, stunts-ishness, then why would you share information with her and think that it was going to be held in secret? I'm just confused on that part, because it's like she's liable.
She ran back and told Erica.
Yeah, she went back and told Erica. She went right back and told Erica. So then Erica, of course, blabbed her mouth, of course, as she would do, which kind of unfoiled whatever these plans were. But I mean, I was just like, who would trust misunderstood? You sat there and watched her and said that she'd be high as Scooter Brown and doing junkie stunts.
Junker say junkie stunts.
So
the
why
word of the day.
Right. The word of the day is
junkie stunts.
Brought to you by the letter. For drugs. Yes, but junkie stunts. So I'm just confused as to why would you have shared that information with her?
But you know what? It might have been a good thing it didn't happen. So.
But it might have been a ploy. I thought about that too, that it might have just been a decoy to just give you some information and see what you do. And if you tell it, then I know I can't, move forward with you.
Yeah, you do that sometimes. You toss stuff out there to see if it comes back to you.
You do.
So,
especially out here, because you gotta, and it's not about choice. It's about building a rapport. If I'm building a rapport with you, there's certain things that you're going to know, and I'm just want to see what you're going to do. So it could have been
this shithead, this shithead done hemmed up a lot of motherfuckers.
Yes,
and we watch it weekly.
Yeah, right. Let's see. So, there was this other one too.
What question?
Go ahead.
Was this just a casual visit type of thing, or what?
No, I think it was something that she was planning to do for her birthday.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was like a getaway type thing. I don't know if Misunderstood was supposed to go, or she was just telling her, like confiding in her or whatever. I don't know, but all I know is she went back and told Tracy what the deal was. So
yeah, well, now you know how you stand with her.
Right. So that's why I thought that the first part of me was like, well, girl, what you tell her for? Like, you already know that there's a possibility that she could have run her mouth, excuse me, and said something. But then I thought, oh, well, maybe she did this on purpose, just to kind of see if she would, if she could be trusted in that way. So,
well, either way, I hope you learned what information that you wanted.
Yeah, right. So, hopefully, it served its purpose for you. Moving right along, there was some talk too, also about Sean Bradley wanting to meet up with Lady Nika, who somebody put in the chat one time and made me laugh so bad. Lady James Unica Brown. Oh God, I laughed so hard because then I looked at a picture she had on that James Brown wig, and I couldn't. I couldn't hold it. So, and people, expressing what they feel about them meeting up. And to each his own. I mean, I don't hold grudges with people. If I don't mess with you, I just don't mess with you. But I don't hold grudges. I think life is too short to hold grudges with people. Grudges only keep you down. They don't keep the other person. So it's like, why hold them? You just let them go. And adults should be able to agree to disagree. And at some point, yes, sir.
I lie. I do hold grudges. I do hold grudges forever.
Well, no, I mean, there's certain individuals that I wouldn't say I hold a grudge with, but I won't. There's nothing on this green earth or the golden earth.
Yeah, they're done.
Thereafter that I
They're
would
pretty much
ever.
done.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a shut. It's
Yeah, if I do nothing else, I hold a good ass grudge forever.
Right.
It would almost have to be. They would have to be death or birth involved for me to even consider.
You better than me, because
No, I do believe in rule. I do believe in rules of engagement. Which is really strange, but
no.
You know, when things are, like I said, either a death or birth, but it doesn't mean that we're friends.
You could be in the room. You could be in the room. I'll still disengage with. I ain't got to go over. Now, if you speak or if you acknowledge, I'll do it back. I'll speak. But I won't go over to you. I won't even. I'm not doing all that. We could be in the same room, and you will not exist to me in that room. So that part I don't. You know,
that's the one great thing about getting older. I don't have to fuck with you. I don't have, and you know what? And I come to realize that the world will not end. I think that's what a lot of younger people think, that, you know, wow, I really need this person in my life. No, you fucking don't.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You can walk down the street and find another one.
Well, I think because, like myself, when I build friendships, they're almost like family to me. So I if
I include you,
I include you in my circle, then you're included. So it's like if I disassociate you from the circle, you are completely. There's there's nothing we need to talk about, and nothing. I pray that you're well, but that's about it. You know,
I don't want to see any ill will.
Yeah,
anything bad happen to you.
No,
but once I'm done with you, I'm done.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Because there's no, like all that, going back and forth, and then so I think, there are a lot of times where people just need to say what they need to say, and it doesn't need to be everybody listening on what needs to be said, or people having, people amp them up to say certain things. They just need to be honest and say what they need to say. And I think at times adults should be able to do that, and then just go their separate ways. If they choose to never talk again, at least it's clear, and it's no kind of misconception on what happened, when it happened, when stuff went this way, how someone felt. Exactly how they felt. They told you to your face.
No woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Right. No,
just go ahead and handle it because you're an adult.
That's it. And that's all about adulting. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if y'all want to be fighting the McDonald's parking lot, that's another fucking thing. Right. I don't do that. I don't use that shit there.
No, that's no. I'm not built for jail. Okay, so I'm not fighting you. Now, if somebody else bust your ass, that's on them, because they don't play about me. But I am not fighting you. I'm not built for jail. I visit.
Don't go to jail if you're too tender.
No. This face is tender enough. I don't need to be going to the jail. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I visit. I do all that. I ain't. But yeah. On that note, I think that was about it. Oh, also real quick, because it just popped in my head. With Queen Kwani, and people talking about how vile she is, and she's like, I am vile, I am this, and I just think to myself, like, it's cute, it's kind of character-ish of her. And again, we don't have to agree with everything someone says. I don't necessarily like certain words that a lot of people use, but I don't take it as an affront to me personally, unless you're talking to me.
It all depends on who's
Who's it directed towards? Like, I don't get in the boat with everybody because they're talking to that one person, because that one person may have done some fuck shit that they deserve, whatever they got. And I'm not getting in the boat with that person, because when that person wouldn't get in the boat for me, if anything, that person probably had a lot of shit to say when I was on the outside of the boat. So no, there's no, it is what it is. But as far as, again, the words being distasteful, yeah, they are sometimes. But do I take all that stuff personal? No, because a lot of times it's a character, it's a thing. I can imagine when she cuts that off, she's not that way in real life. She's just that way on here with y'all because y'all don't see her or know her. You know what I'm saying? It's a kind of dual kind of thing.
Actually, in essence, you really don't matter.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what it boils down to.
Right.
I can, it's like I can say these things because I know that there isn't any real consequences, and I really have no emotional attachment to you.
To you,
because I'm sure that there are
connected.
people that she may feel a certain way, a good way towards that she would never talk.
She would never talk that way too. Right, exactly. And that's my whole point. So it's like, get out y'all feelings sometimes, because I don't be jumping in the boat every time somebody says, "Oh, he said, oh, this person's homophobic. That person's homophobic. This person's homophobic," because they talking to you, because they called you a fairy, because they called you ham hocks, or they called you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, but they were talking about you.
When you said F, I didn't think it was gonna be fairy. I was like, "Oh, he's going hard, motherfucker, going hardcore tonight."
No, but no, because my best friend, she's in the chat. She's gonna be like, "I don't like that word. I told you that. Don't use that." So I'm not.
No.
But if they talking about you, they talking about you, and it's just you. You're not the banner carrier for everyone because they use that. They're talking about you, directed towards you. Just like when other people say it who are in the community, you don't sit there and say that they're homophobic, even if they are a part of the community. You just say, well, they were just talking about you. They wasn't talking about everybody.
No, actually, you would say, "What happened? Why did she call you that? What did you do?
Right.
What did you do?"
Right, exactly. Singling out the person.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just crazy. I don't know why this thing is. It must be StreamYard because I ain't got nothing up. I'm trying to see why.
No, it's using a lot of resources tonight.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I got on that. And as far as shows, I done watched The Ring of Power so many times. I don't watch.
What? It's only two.
It's only 2 episodes, but I've watched the 2 episodes. Like,
oh, you really into that?
I am. Like, I so am. Like, I couldn't wait for it to be like, oh, like I can't wait. So I've been watching that.
Next one is Friday, right?
Friday. House of Dragons. I done watched that a few times.
Yeah.
Just really into that. Just really excited. Like, oh, now one thing you did mention that I was like, oh, that's crazy, was the multicultural thing that they had going. Now that part gets me, and not in a bad way per se, but it's just like, first of all, and this is just the honesty of it, right? You put all these multi races of people in the series. Where was these people in the movie? Oh, because you wasn't gonna get the budget if you put different.
Oh, but you talking about Amazon?
No, I'm talking about the Lord of the Rings,
or just all of it in general.
Yeah, all of it in general. The series.
Because the movie didn't have anybody.
No, everybody was.
Well, you know what it is that I could see with Amazon. Amazon is global, and this is being showed all over the world.
But they're using what you call it though. They're using Lord of the Rings kind of trilogy thing, so people will instantly draw it to the movie, in a sense.
To the old movie?
Yeah, to the whole series.
The whole. No, well, no. No, I think that Amazon's really pushing the whole We Are the World shit.
We Are the World, Michael Jackson and Diana Ross.
Yeah, they're gonna have everything there because, like I said, they're trying to appeal to a global audience because you have people of many colors. I haven't seen any Oriental people yet.
No, not yet, but I'm sure there's some.
They're probably behind the masks, so shit like that. I'm trying to be PC.
Maybe they were the crab people.
Okay, on that one, yeah. But actually on both series.
On both series, yeah.
Now on the Dragon one.
But see, like HBO, I've
In the
seen
first one, I've
some,
seen
yeah,
I've seen people of color on the
right,
dragon one.
yeah, that's not,
But the Lord of the Ring one, it's like no, I don't remember any black hobbits or anything
yeah,
like
there
that.
was no black hobbits. I ain't seen near
Mhm.
black hobbit ever. Now they did mention other hobbit families, so
Yeah.
maybe that's
Or
maybe
even
that's
if they had maybe say like if they, when they were discussing the other families, the other clans, whatever they called them,
Mhm.
and say like you saw a picture of something in the
Right,
background
right,
with that these people were brown, that
yeah,
type of thing. But I'm thinking Amazon for sure because they want to appeal to a wider audience. They're going to mix it up.
yeah. But then
It's
it's
not going to be as. But then you got to ask yourself not just the director but the writer of the story, was he prejudiced, or maybe that's why
or
they
the movie
excluded,
executives.
or the movie executives, or I mean, because I've actually read where a lot of these people were saying that this was a white was it Nordish
Yeah,
or what
mhm.
northern whatever story, and there weren't any people of color in there,
In there,
in there, I mean, but I'm like, this is fucking fantasy,
right,
okay?
right. That's the part. Like it's not real people. So the characters
Yeah.
could be, the characters could be really any race. It's when you stick to like, why is that character not so and so? Where you start to show a little bit of thing.
Mhm.
But it just made me go.
But they did that with Star Wars, with the character Finn, and the I believe she was Korean young lady. Finn was the black guy.
Oh,
John Boyega
okay,
in the later movies.
movies. Okay,
You didn't see the only black person was damn near
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams and Bo 45 ball liquor. You know what is a nigga? There was liquor. But anyway, but that's a damn shame. He was a bar owner. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's probably a pimp too. They just didn't. They probably wrote it out. But during those movies, I mean, they're fantasy movies.
Right.
They even had a black elf in the Hobbit one.
Right. The light skin. I was like, oh, where did the elf come from? I was like, now what?
Now that was elfin magic.
Yeah, right. I was like, where he come from? I was like, what tribe is he a part of? I had never seen him in none of that. That's
Because
I was doing a lot of cross-referencing from that to the movie. And I'm like,
to the movie.
I ain't never seen the elf before. Where he come
Now
from?
how long has it been since the last movie?
A long time.
Yeah. I just think that it was written the way that the author had it, and it just excluded all other people's.
Yeah.
They were probably called toads or something else.
Yeah.
But you weren't going to see it because remember the elves were like they were white.
Yeah, that's something they were white.
Blonde, they were white with blonde hair and everything else. And I'm like,
but that's what the article was saying when woke goes too far, when woke when woke hates it. It's just like, well, are we really just saying they're woke, or are we just expounding on the characters that may in the original book just have been Caucasian like, and that you're just expounding on the character?
No, I just think that the original book just was not realistic.
When
it came down to that, because regardless, not all white people are white.
Yeah,
they're different degrees and shades of white also.
And
they didn't think they didn't call them white.
Right.
Like I said, you had Italians,
right,
and you had
that whole white thing is a failing concept.
And it's like, well, shit, no, you all white to us.
Right.
But to them, they weren't. They considered even amongst them, you're the nigger of the white people.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So,
that is true. Picture it, Sicily.
Yeah, and the Italians, and the Italians and the Irish, they weren't considered white.
Right.
I think white was the British.
Yeah.
Along that line, and the Germans. you know.
Right.
But then they needed to grow their numbers, so they started to include everyone, just like they're doing with the Hispanics now. So I guess it's just because you have straight hair follicles.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter where it is, as long as it's straight somewhere. Oh God,
That was nasty. That was nasty. So you've been repeating those, huh?
But
I said you've been repeating the shows.
I have, yes, I have. I
Okay.
have.
On the Dragon, they did a 3-year jump, 2-year or 3-year jump.
I think a 3-year jump. Yeah, they did a 3-year jump, and then
because his kids were the black guy's kids were kind of grown.
Kind of grown. Yeah.
And they actually showed his brother.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just so glad they got those lock wigs. They
right together. Yeah, right.
They weren't that heavy.
They don't look like
rope.
Yeah, like
they look light and fluffy and airy, and they're all white, and they look really good. They look real legit. Yeah, they did not call Tyler for that.
Not the most nappy-headed wigs he be having. Yeah.
Now, did you see when the brother killed the crab guy?
Yeah, at first I thought, I was like, oh, the crab guy is gonna, because when I saw him standing in the opening of the cave, I didn't know that was where he ran into. I was like, oh, he's gonna kill the dragon. He's gonna shoot the dragon down, and he's gonna kill that boy on the top of the dragon. But then when he came in and had the guy chopped in half, I said, oh, goddamn, did you have to kill him like that?
Well, I wanted them to expand a little bit on who he was, when death in his character,
right?
But he had the gray, right?
Yeah,
he had the gray all over him. And I was like, when you got a closer look and you saw that he had a mask on, but evidently he must have been scaling the gray off of him,
right?
And I was like, did the brother? But I guess the brother had gloves on too. I was wondering if the brother came in contact with them, did he get the gray?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out too, like where everybody fits.
What was wrong with him? I say, boy, that looked like a bad case of eczema.
Yeah.
He was looking rough.
He was looking bad.
And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, that's right. Just like the knight that had contracted the gray in the first series.
Yeah.
And at first they were scaling that stuff off.
Yeah. And then he got funny part was when he was like, all big and bad at first, like sending people out there because he thought dude was surrendering and all this other kind of stuff. And
yes.
He saw his tide was turning and the dragon was kind of burning their asses. He was like, whoop. He just kind of dipped on back in the cave.
Because they ran and hid in the caves.
Yeah.
The dragon couldn't get in touch. And I'm glad that they have different types of dragons too.
Right. Yeah.
The different shapes and all.
Yeah.
And not just the standard size. That the one that they had, not the red one that was like real skinny, looks more oriental because it looks like that, more serpenty.
Yeah.
The green one that they had was a lot smaller, so I am assuming that it was a younger dragon that the black guy's son was riding on too, because he's a dragon rider. And I believe his daughter is supposed to be a dragon rider too, the one that he was trying to betroth to the king.
Yeah, I think so.
When she was 12.
When she was 12. Yeah, like what disgusting shit is that? But I mean, ain't no better than the hand of the kings. And if they turn his daughter up, talking about some put on your mother's dress.
Yeah. And did you see the king? The king had lost 2 fingers too.
Oh, did he? No, I didn't know.
Yeah, he had lost 2 fingers. Remember, he had pricked the one on the Iron Throne.
On the Iron Throne, yeah. But I think he got pricked in the back too. That's why he got that sword that don't heal.
Yeah, that was in the back, but they never showed that when they were showing. Remember, he had his hand in the bowl of maggots,
and
eating
away the dead.
Yeah, eating away that. So, like I said, with that 2 or 3 year jump, they went on ahead and took those digits off, but they still look nasty looking.
Mm.
But he looks like he's ready to keel over.
Yeah,
He looks sick and tired.
Yeah, he definitely does look sick. Yeah. But that whole kind of even social construct of women are less than is very prevalent through this through these these couple episodes. And it's just like, I wonder if she's really going to ascend to the throne, although I don't think so, because I think the brother and sister kind of push her out the way.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe she'll have her own following and create her own kingdom.
Well, because I think she's, if I'm not mistaken, isn't she going to be Jon Snow's mother? Or if I don't know, because I know that they're related. They're supposed to be related, but
yeah, but how far? How many years? You know. Remember, their lifespan isn't as long. Shit, they're dead by 40 because they've been and got all kinds of crazy. You know, they got all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, them big ass crabs are just eating them guys.
The big, huge ass crab just crawling up, eating people. Like, what the hell?
Did you see when that dragon landed on the guy? The guy said, "Come save me, my lord."
Right.
The dragon stepped right on. Was like, and that just showed how self-centered that guy was.
Mm-hmm.
That the king's brother.
Right. Definitely. Just crazy, but definitely cool to watch. So if you haven't watched it, please do watch it. Also, Queen Sugar is coming back, so I can't wait to watch that because that's on my show. This will be their final season. Show. Yep. So I don't want to see it go, but you know.
Yeah, and check out Honk if you love Jesus.
Oh yeah, I have to check out that. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised on one of your Kojic channels that wasn't required. Because y'all know, you better watch it because you know you're gonna be talking about that shit Friday.
No.
Y'all go. You better watch it. It's on Peacock. It's free.
Like I tell them all the time, I'm Baptist, so there's certain things that I do not engage in.
That's okay. Speaking of tongues, y'all be rolling on the floor dancing. I'm like, what are they doing? Sprinkle some water on them.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
Calm it down. Yeah, but for those of you, definitely appreciate you coming over to King Jives and the King's Court, where I am currently. There on Fridays. Last Friday was a pretty good show. It was decent. It was fun.
Yeah, I thought it was Thursday.
It was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
I came on early or something. Yeah.
That's right. Thursday, because that's right. Jazz was going away, so we did it on Thursday. But it's usually,
they got a lot of shit. They got a lot of shit going on with the church.
It's usually a lot of church stuff, a lot of news stuff, and just opinions of people. And I definitely appreciate the people, even on my Facebook, who come over and always, send me messages. So thank you so much for support. And supporting King Jobs, and just definitely about church stuff and church news and pastors and first ladies and all that kind of stuff.
That's some shit. That is something. That's like,
it'd be a lot. It'd be like true crime.
It's like the dark universe and shit. It's like, where is this? We never knew it existed. Like this.
It'd be like true crime for the church. Right?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Who did what? Yeah. And they did what?
Right. And how long has this been going on? And
they murdered who? Yeah. Who they murder? Right. Like what?
Like that guy that murdered his wife. His trial starts. And speaking of trial starting, Sweetie Pies. Tim Big Hip Norman. Yeah, Tim Big Hip Norman.
Never trust a man. Never trust a man with hips.
Never trust a man with them hips. Good God.
Because he looked like he had a BBL before it became popular.
Right. He had a whole prison BBL. But his trial starts. It started today, I believe, in the murder case against
your own family.
Yeah, against his nephew.
Your own family for insurance money.
For money. Money you could have asked your mother for. And granted, she would have probably fussed at you about it, but at the end of the day, she would have gave it to you.
Well, you know, but he was making sideways moves anyway. He had
Yeah, he
opened up a
was.
restaurant.
He
She
was.
and Mama
He
should
was
have.
using her money. He was using her money, opening up side restaurants and stuff like that. And she was mad that he was doing it, and she call herself, you know, cutting him off from doing it.
But you know, the only reason why she didn't do it is because he's the only son, right?
Son, yeah,
Yeah,
because
he's the
Andre's
only
father
son.
passed away. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, he's the only son, and she wants to set up something for him,
yeah,
and he was greedy,
yeah.
and to kill your own nephew, man,
Yeah.
that's some heartless shit.
Well, because I watched the scene where her house was robbed, and she was really like nervous about that, but she kind of hinted that she may have thought that it was Andre that did it when that season even aired. And then now hearing, or you know, because I do watch the young lady, I'll put her in my description box in the on my community wall. She does a lot of the play-by-play on that, and it's phenomenal. I just watch all that stuff for her opinion. But she had the text messages where Miss Robbie was talking to Andre, telling him, "Oh, well, if you didn't do it, just take the lie detector test." Kind of almost like as she was angry with him, like she may have even thought that he may have robbed her.
Done it. Yeah, because there were probably certain things that no one else knew. Maybe she might have had a couple of stashes in the house,
but Tim
nobody else did, but he knew, and those things were gone.
Right.
So she knew, and you know that has to be heartbreaking. The woman of her age, she really doesn't have a successor.
This is what I'm saying. Like you done took, you know, I mean, granted, she has, you know, nieces and nephews that may take it over, but she wanted to leave it to you.
To him, and that was the whole setup because he had been in jail,
and you couldn't wait to wait your turn to have it. I mean, it's again, here we go with a story as old as time with the damn sibling that just can't wait their turn to get what is coming to them, and they must take it by any means necessary. Do you really think she would have given Andre more of whatever it was than you? No, at the end of the day, that's her son. You know, she would have given him some because, of course, that's her son's son. Yeah. So he would have gotten something.
She was setting them up.
Right. She was setting them both
they would not have to
want
for anything. They would not have to worry about getting jobs. They had felons and all the rest of that other crap.
No, but he wanted it all because I guess he felt more than likely he was doing all the work. So he wanted it all. But you can't do that. How would you be able to try and take everything, and that's your brother? You know what I'm saying? Like that's your brother's son. So I don't know. It's just ridiculous. But child.
Yeah, but he's a criminal. He was a criminal at heart from the beginning. So
yeah, I don't put it past them. But that's just ridiculous to kill your own child, and then to do it so sloppily. I'm like, who using burner phones like you don't know they get traced? Would y'all people stop thinking that burner phones are not traceable?
That's what happens.
That's the first thing.
That's what happens on Saturday nights when they let them in prison watch all those crime shows,
right.
giving them that wrong information. Then they go out here and commit a crime.
It's like he had a burner phone, but we couldn't trace it. Yeah, the who's who can't trace it. They pinpointed every phone call. That man was making phone calls from that phone and his own phone at the same location during the times of his nephew's murder. And to do all that, like I said, I've watched the show since season 1, and to do all that walking with her, you know, she was so distraught about Andre. Andre was not wanting to be there because he felt a certain way about his life and the altercations he was having with Tim, even on camera. Child, people tell you, believe them. Like, you know, if they're trying to tell you something, believe them instead of trying to ignore them, because that could have been avoided.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That is crazy. But hopefully, you know, justice will be served. And it's sad that, you know, you had to lose a grandson and a son back to jail over a lousy. We ain't even talking about a whole lot of money. We're talking about a couple hundred, like maybe 100,000, maybe even less than that. Like to kill a boy off.
What was he going to do with it?
Who knows? Probably trying to open up another goddamn sweetie pies or pay the bills on the shit he already opened.
some ass injections.
Yep. Shit. Well, he was dating Jennifer at the time. Him and Jennifer sitting on the table getting ass injections together. Some basketball wives getting hip injections, looking stupid. But anyway,
that is, you know what? That's gonna be nasty as shit when these guys get old, and these asses.
That is
a hot ass
gonna be
mess.
A hot shitty mess.
Mm-hmm.
Hot mess.
With little 2-inch beer bellies, could he little ass legs?
Little ass legs, and these big old bodies looking all misfortunate and misshapen.
Like, what the hell? Is that a new species?
And house dresses looking like ants.
Okay, it's time to go.
Old lady ants looking crazy. Great. But anyway, all right, guys. So without further ado, have a great night. Be safe, wear your masks, moisturize, all that good stuff. And until next time, America, be good to yourselves and each other.
Good night.
Oh, and wait, real quick, don't do this dumb shit. When you're traveling, if your luggage is too heavy, don't do this. Don't do it to the people. If your luggage is too heavy, just pack light. Bitch, like
strike. Strike.
Like Erica Badu said, just pack light. I can't believe you did that shit. It's like that thing came flying down this stuff.
Yeah, it had to be doing a good 25 miles an hour down there. That was a long ass escalator.
She wasn't even running fast. She wasn't even walking down the stairs fast enough to even miss it. It was like swoop. Oh man, that's so crazy. Goodness. But anyway,
wonder why your luggage all dented up.
This is what I'm saying.
You do that shit yourself.
Right. Anyway, guys, have a great night. God bless.